The Museum of Human Misery?
Oh, yeah. Okay, it's a torture museum. Famous examples of bad behavior and explanations of the torture they earned.
Is there a gift shop?
Jason, this is hell. Of course there's a gift shop.
This is insane, you guys.
Yo, this is sexy, man.
Broadcasting live from the internet, it's Tuesday night, and this is the PanelsOnPages.com podcast with your host, Lee Rodriguez.
At the end of the day, babies are terrible people, and I'm not sorry for saying it.
Jason Knize.
Motherfucker, I won best costume!
Jose Guzman.
Yeah, I know nothing about Firestorm, except for his hat's always burning.
And Kelly Harris.
Boy, love, it appears we got a penis in the mail.
I glued my fucking eyes shut!
I just want to see all these Yelp reviews of Jose's jizz.
Oh, sorry, I knocked over the salt.
Like you had anything better to do.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Today is Tuesday, January 23rd, 2018, and this is episode number 410 of the PanelsOnPages.com podcast. I'm your host, the Lord Reverend Lee Rodriguez, and joining me tonight, we got Mr. Jason Knize.
Oh, hell yeah!
Kelly Harris.
Undertaker supports Trump. All your heroes are dead.
and not Jose Guzman. He's on a plane, motherfuckers. Flying out to the West Coast for something I forgot, or maybe he never told me what it was.
Gotta stop dudes jerking off in the guacamole bowls at the facial convention.
Yeah,
probably what it is.
It's a eat your own cum convention.
CEI conference. Oh God. Back in the day, before the YouTube days of the podcast, we would bullshit around kind of before we officially launched the show, and you can hear some fun things. Not only just for us, and sometimes that's for the best.
Yeah, it's probably real for the best.
Oh God. So yeah, man, let's get into it. What the fuck's going on here? Okay, so I got an extremely terrifying Christmas gift last week.
Nice.
I was on my way out to hang out with my buddy Goat on Wednesday, and I got a text message from my lovely wife. She says, "Hey, you expecting any mystery packages?" I'm like, no. Everything I am expecting should be properly labeled.
Was it
Why
more,
do you ask?
Was it more jelly?
No, it was not more jelly.
Was it Goat moaning like a woman having sex, and then you cut him open and he was full of dicks?
It was. She's like, there is a one solitary wrapped Christmas gift on the front porch, and it has your name written on a piece of paper stapled to it. I'm like, that's...
Oh, no.
That's really unsettling. I'm like,
So it wasn't delivered. It was secretly dropped.
Someone just placed it on the front fucking porch.
Oh, my.
I'm like,
I wonder if that person had trouble getting up the stairs.
Did you bring it inside? She's like, yeah, it's on the washer. I go, don't bring it inside. What the fuck are you doing? I'm like, is it... What does it feel like? It's heavy. Is it audibly ticking? Like, okay, I guess I got to come home and deal with this first. So I text Goat, like, hey, I'm a little bit late. I got to handle this mystery package. Left on the porch, blah, blah, blah. And because he's my best friend, without missing a beat, he just says, could be a shit. Like, you know what? Could be a shit. But let's see. Like the whole way home, I'm like just running down like a list of my enemies, like who'd want to fuck with me because it's not close to Christmas anymore. What the fuck, right? And so I get home and I find it's this big heavy box. I'm like, shit. So I go to the back porch because I'm not opening this goddamn thing. It could be full of fucking snakes for all I know. It is not handwriting that I recognize whatsoever.
You open it up
outside.
You open it up and it's the beach and a bunch of horses.
Tiny horses on a box of sand. So I'm slowly just peeling back the paper, looking for the box. Like the box has been mailed via FedEx at some point before, but the address label that it was used before is ripped off. Like, okay, we're no closer to finding out what the fuck's happening here. Okay. I pull out my knife, and I'm so fucking careful with this thing. Like, ridiculous how nervous I was. And I open the top of the box, and there's a handwritten letter. Like, oh, sweet Jesus. And it was from our friends Tabitha and Jamie. Our good friends. A letter saying, hey, sorry it took so long for this to get here. Not sure if this is going to fit in your collection, blah, blah, blah. If not, feel free to sell it. Just thought you might like it. I open this damn box up, and it's a box in a box in a box. And inside is one of those amazing IGW artifact editions for Walt Simonson art.
Nice.
And it is a fucking breathtaking book. Like, just gorgeous. And I'm like, why are you scaring the shit out of me with this lovely gift? I text him right away. I'm like, why in the bluest of hell did you not knock on the fucking door, dude? You scared the shit out of me with this thing. He's like, yeah, I figured Nicole would be working. And go, yeah, she was. But this was way scary. Yeah, I guess so. But I guess it's like I said, it is an amazing fucking book. It's beautiful. And, out of print, I can't believe it. I guess he was just, it's one of those things that like has never worked out for me before in my life. Wherein it doesn't happen so much now. But it used to be you'd get that gift from that person who means well, but is always like, hey, I heard you like comics, right? And it'd be like a fucking collected edition of Andy Caps or something. Just some bullshit that is technically comics. But he browses like all sorts of like various like internet yard sales. He buys and resells shit all the damn time. And he was like, hey, this is a comic thing. It looks cool. Lee might like it. And Lee likes it very much. So it actually worked out well for the first time fucking ever. But boy, howdy, what is that unsettling before we got there. I did not lie. I was sweating. And like, as if it was a fucking omen, when I opened the garage door to go inside, there was a fucking bird flying around the garage. like a finch had gotten in there. Like, what the shit? And I got to deal with this too? It was so cold out still. It's ridiculous. The kids were out of school all last week for snow and ice. They got like a little second mini break. I was so jealous. But yeah. After that.
So what comics were in the thing?
It's a lot of Swamp Thing, obviously. Like a lot of Swamp Thing. Some old kind of just like 70s horror comics, stuff like that. Like everything you want to be in
this?
There. Huh?
Who you said Walt Simonson did this?
Oh God, no. Bernie Wrightson. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
No. Bernie Wrightson.
Okay.
Walt Simonson. No, Bernie Wrightson. So it's all kinds of Swamp Thing, like really good stuff. Everything you want to be in there, except for Frankenstein. Like, it's weird that there's not some Frankenstein in there. Especially seeing as how, like, IDW joint published the book with DC. You'd think there'd be something in there.
Yeah.
Or maybe just, since it's so much newer, maybe the process is different or whatever. Because I imagine it's not quite the same as seeing, like, all the cool paste ups and shit like that on the old pages.
Yeah.
But it's very cool. It's very, very cool. Went to my brother's house Saturday, and we hopped back and forth between the UFC pay-per-view with Stephen Miocic and Francis Ngannou, and the fucking Bellator show that was going on at the same time. Bellator threw their dick out and was like, yeah, we're going to go up against the UFC pay-per-view. And
they pulled
they're doing weird shit, man. Like, really weird shit. Like, the Chael Sonnen fought Rampage Jackson at this thing.
Oh, were they? What was the arena? Was it in 2002?
Exactly, exactly. And they're both fighting in like a heavyweight championship tournament. Neither of them are fucking heavyweights. Like, this is this weird freak show fucking thing. Like, it's really, really weird. But it was cool. Watch that. Kind of hop back and forth in that in the main event at UFC where DP just schooled Francis Ngannou's big ass. Like, that guy's big and he's scary and he's strong, but he gassed himself out so fast that he just had his way with him the entire time. But also on that Bellator card, Rory McDonald, who kind of made a name for himself in UFC, is now in Bellator, and he fought their current, I think the 170 champion. Won the fight, but not before, I think maybe in round 3 or round 4, he got kicked so fucking hard in his leg that like it took him like the leg kick was almost like a sweep almost. It took him right to the fucking ground. It was terrible. And by the time the next round began, he had this mass on his leg. Like it was some kind of a hematoma or fucking something. I'm throwing the picture in the chat now. It was awful. Like we were so damn nervous the rest of the fight. Like thinking like if he gets that fucking thing kicked again, it will explode.
Ooh.
But it was awful. But like, it lit a fire in his belly, and like he went straight ground and pound for that, and like whipped the shit off the guy. Like he won the fight, but god damn, that was awful. Like it was truly terrible. Like,
No.
yeah. It looks like he has a loaf of bread under the skin on his shin.
I'm just holding my shins now.
Yeah, it was fucking awful to see. It was so bad.
Ugh.
It was a good fight. It was a good fight, though.
No lie, the preview image in the little Facebook message looked like you were sending a screenshot of porno. Because it's just
your screenshot.
It's just 4 different dude feet.
So crazy. So terrible. But yeah, that and what else? I actually had a pretty chill weekend. Played some video games, which is fun. Balls deep in Hyrule. Fucking doing well on that.
Yeah, you are.
Beat the 3rd Guardian Beast today. So,
Nice. So which ones have you done?
all but the one in the Bird City. I haven't got to the Bird City yet.
Okay, I haven't. I've done all of them, but Death Mountain.
Yeah, the Death Mountain is no joke. It's fucking hard to get up there.
The bird one's not bad.
Cool. Yes,
That was probably the easiest one for me.
But I mean, doing that thing now, I'm kind of running around after the fact, doing some little getting shrines and side quests and shit like that. Like I'm not like going for completion, but if I happen upon a thing that doesn't seem too complicated, I'm gonna do it.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's what I do too. Right now, I'm going around trying to find as many of the memories as I can.
Yeah, if I find that guy, if that guy's there and he's like, oh yeah, that looks like this place over here.
Yeah.
Then I'll do it.
Yeah, so now I've just been going around looking at my map and just going to stables that I've seen already just to see if that dude's there and then talk to him. Be like, hey, do you know where this thing is?
Yeah, I think I've unlocked maybe 3 or 4 of them. Like, not a lot, but not anything. I'm also making my way through Kingdom Hearts 2.5, the remix thing they did, because, Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to come out sometime between now and when we die. And I kind of want to have a refresher on that because, boy, those games are complicated. And so I'm playing this thing, and I know I'm close to the end because I beat it, 10 years ago when it came out. But the versions on the 2.5 are those weird final mix things, which normally means they have like some extra weapons and like some extra secret bosses and shit like that. But for the most part, those boss fights are optional until you get to, let's say, the last 15% of the game. Like we're in the home stretch of this. I've been playing this motherfucker for like 45 hours, and we're getting near the end of the game, and suddenly, out of fucking nowhere, there's this brand new boss fight that I never saw before, and this guy wipes me off the board in about 17 seconds. Like, it's so exponentially harder than anything that came before it. Like, I've not gotten like video game ragey in a very long time. Like, but I had to go back and grind to level up, like learn new abilities and shit like that, because like there are abilities that you have to beat this thing. Like, yeah, if you don't have that dodge roll, just fucking forget about it. It's never gonna happen. So I had to go learn that fucking thing, to grind up all this stuff, whatever. It stopped being fun. Like, don't not be fun, video games. What the fuck are you doing? Like, that's not fun at all. But I'm a 32-year-old man, and my wife saw shades of me this weekend that I don't think she saw before and she didn't like. Like every once in a while, just I'd go out around the 22nd time I fought this guy. I'm just like, motherfucker! it's so bad, so fucking mad. My kids are poking their heads out of the room, like, "You okay?" I'm just sweating, just hating life. Like, no, not okay. This shit's it's not fair, okay? It's not fair.
And they just go, "Daddy, sometimes life isn't fair."
Yeah, it's so fucking bad. But I beat that motherfucker. Oh yeah, and like the next boss was like maybe 5 minutes after that. The one that was in the original game. I kicked his ass maybe the third try. Like it was nowhere near as big a deal. Oh god, I hated it. And then last thing I'll talk about, I came across at a Ross Dress for Less that big ass Mega Bloks Technodrome.
Didn't we talk about this last week?
Did we? We talked about it? I know we talked about it like in the Facebook group. I know we talked about it on the show.
We talked about you buying it. I don't know if we talked about you doing anything else besides like that.
Right.
I don't know if you built it yet.
Yeah, so I definitely hadn't built it yet because, this thing sold for like $250. I got it for $40 damn. And then I got Toys R Us to price match Amazon for a party wagon last Thursday. So I got myself a party wagon and a Technodrome, and I bought a little Raphael minifigure off Amazon. And I remember, like, we talked about these when they first came out, Knize. I think you and I both were like, $8 for the fucking minifigures is kind of horseshit, But now that I have them, they're actually kind of cool. The Raphael, like I said, was $8, and all of the, like, the wrist pads, the elbow pads, all that shit, the little colored pads, they're all rubber, like individual pieces. The shells are die cast. The masks are separate pieces. Like, they're pretty fucking cool little figures. And this Raphael one came with all the parts you need to swap out and make him like trench coat Raph with a rubber mask on.
Oh yeah.
Like the mask itself is a piece of rubber that fits over the turtle head. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, it's really neat. But what I don't have is a Donatello. And it's so fucking expensive to get anything Donatello. Like, nothing less than like $25-$30, and I cannot spend $30 on a minifigure Donatello. Not when the fucking party wagon was like $20 after the price match. Like, I can't fucking do it. And I figured out why, because he's the only one that doesn't come in one of the bigger sets. And so, like, got yourself a classic supply and demand situation, and people as assholes about it. So we sat down over the weekend to build some Legos. Nicole's going to work on her Ferris wheel. I'm going to do the Technodrome. Bust off the tape, open the box, and it's fucking cool. Like, the inside of the box is printed up, so you kind of unfurl the box, and it's like all these cool Technodrome graphics from back in the day, and there's two big ass boxes inside. One of them has like cutouts for the instruction booklet. Like, it's an amazing presentation. Open up the booklet, and it's like, they're breaking this thing down into sections A, B, C, and D, much like the Lego stuff does. We talked about that before. You get a big Lego set, all the bags are numbered and shit, and it's like, hey, this part you need all the bags with ones on them. Super.
Right.
So I see that. I think we're in pretty good shape. I opened up one of these two big ass boxes of bags, and none of the bags are numbered. There's 2,975 pieces across just dozens of bags.
Oh no.
None of them are numbered. So I'm like, I'm not doing this today. Because I would like to build something, not spend 2 hours sorting fucking bricks. So I'm gonna have to divvy them all out by color and shape and shit at some point. But like, that got a lot less fun very quickly because that's a pain in the ass. But the party wagon is fucking cool. I built that instead. That was rad as hell. It's got the one side door folds out, and there's like a little seat with a missile launcher on it, like the old toy had. The other side folds down. It's got the turtle shell pattern on the top. It's got a plug-in skateboard, and there's a monitor that has fucking Ace Duck on it. I'm like, oh, look at that, fucking Ace Duck.
Fuck yeah, Ace Duck.
Fuck yeah, Ace Duck. Yeah, that thing's like $20 on Amazon. Like, I highly recommend the Party Wagon. I think we knocked it out in like, I don't know, maybe 2 hours. 2 hours and change? No,
once you put the party wagon up against the DeLorean and the Ghostbusters Ecto-1, and was there one more?
The DeLorean, Ecto-1, the Mystery Machine.
Oh, the Mystery Machine. I was like, oh man, that's so cool. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, very happy with how it all came out. It's really, really fun. And like I said, $20 on Amazon, so I would highly recommend that guy. It's very, very cool. And, you know, I want to build a Technodrome. I'm going to build a Technodrome, but I got to just, it's going to be, the beginning is going to be just taking medicine. You know what I mean? Just got to, fuck. All right, let's do this thing. Okay, here's all the white triangles together. And it's going to suck balls. But it'll be really cool when it's done. That's all I got. What's up, Knize?
Well, last week we talked about how on a whim, she had been planning on it, but last weekend we went and got our Disney World annual passes.
Balls deep in Disney.
So in 1 week, from Sunday to now Tuesday, we've been to Disney 3 times.
Oh my god!
So we went to Magic Kingdom on the first day. And then I believe Wednesday night we hit up Epcot because it was gonna be super cold Thursday. It was pretty cold Wednesday, but we wanted to get out there. They've got this Festival of the Arts going on right now. Epcot's new gimmick is, you know, they had their Food and Wine Festival started it all out, where they bring out these kiosks, and each kiosk has like 6 food and drink items based on that particular region or country, you know, because they've got the World Showcase at Epcot with all the different countries. So,
that's, you know, cool.
Once a year for about a month, they've got the Food and Wine Festival where you can go around the world and eat all kinds of different food, but it's like, you know, $6 per little tiny thing of food. So it can get expensive. But it's cool. But that's their gimmick now, is they've got like 9 of these festivals by different names that are essentially the same festival. But now,
right
now it's the Festival of the Arts. So they've got, it's kind of like the World Showcase is kind of like an outdoor artist alley right now, with artists vending their goods and a lot of cool like Disney stuff and Star Wars.
That sounds kind of rad.
It is pretty cool. Like there was some shit that we are probably going to double back and go back there and get eventually.
Huh.
But,
all right, that's cool.
We booked a fast pass for the Frozen Ever After ride, which now occupies the space that Maelstrom used to be in the Norway Pavilion. You know, this is the ride that it came out after the last time Mary and I had annual passes, so we've never seen it. And it's one of those rides that is always like a 3-4 hour wait standby.
Jesus Christ.
So we got fast passes, and even with fast passes, it was still like 20-25 minutes to get in there. But it's cool, you know? And that's the thing we keep telling each other is we can't get too frustrated by the crowds. We can't try and pack too much in because we got a whole fucking year to do this. So let's you
have no reason to make it stressful.
Yeah, let's not hate this. So, but you know, we get in line and you know, they've got the same boats as they did back when it was Maelstrom. Like, they're showing some age, but everything else is new. And we get in there, and all the animatronics either have video projected eyes that come from the inside. So instead of, like, animatronic eyes, it's all video. It's animated. Or their faces are projected onto the animatronic. So it's basically a CGI face you're looking at instead
that shit is amazing.
Instead of an animatronic mouth.
It's like the same kind of thing to do on the Lumiere thing.
I don't know what do you mean the Lumiere thing?
It was like the Bell experience thing. There's like a robot Lumiere, and it looks like his face is a cartoon basically.
I have not seen that, but I do believe you're in the right wheelhouse. Cool. Yeah, it's kind of the same technology they use on the new Snow White Seven Dwarfs Mine Train ride. It's the new hotness for animatronics. Instead of animating the face with a robot, they project it on there. But it's got this weird, because it's lit up, it's projected on there, it's very bright, and it almost looks like it very much reminds me of in the episode of The Office where they have the CPR dummy and Dwight cuts the face off of it and wears it. There's kind of that transition from the projected face to the actual material of the animatronic, which is kind of weird, but it's still very cool. And I just got big old wide eyes as I'm seeing this. Like, as we're passing some of the animatronics, like Olaf and Sven, like my neck is getting broken because I can't stop looking at these guys as we're passing by. And then we come into this big room. The big scene is the Elsa Let It Go scene, where you come into her castle and she sings Let It Go, and then she like fucking force pushes the boat backwards down a hill.
That's
and
cool.
We come into this room and there's a boat stopped. And Elsa sings her whole song. We're sitting there for the whole thing. And then nothing happens and the boat's just stuck there and we're stuck there. And Elsa's just kind of standing there like, I don't know what to tell you. Like she's not
the
static.
robot just shrugs.
Yeah, it was very much like a shrug, or like she kept kind of motioning her hands like, okay, you can go now. So finally that boat goes backwards and then pulls up to our turn, and the whole thing's fucked. So we don't get the moment. We don't get the big let it go, and then we go backwards. She's still just silent and kind of confused and disapproving of our presence there, which sucks. The rest of the ride's pretty cool. We get to the end of it, and as we're getting out of the boat, there's a Disney cast member who says, hey, you guys want to ride it again since you had a bad experience? And I was like, fuck yeah, we do! So we got right back in the same boat and went again, and this time they nailed it. It was super cool, the whole sequence. Like, if you don't hit that just perfectly, it basically ruins the ride. So yeah, I want to ride it again. Yeah, I want to ride the Frozen ride twice in a row.
Yeah, timing is fucking everything on something like that.
Exactly. So very cool. We walked around the World Showcase, got some food, got a little a rice ball shaped like a panda head. It was like coconutty rice. Yeah, it's coconut rice, but the gimmick was it was shaped like a panda head. So that was cool. And we get around to Japan, and they had this thing called taiyaki, I think it was called. Kelly, have you ever heard of this? Both of you are on a podcast called Like Japan Shit. Have you ever heard of a taiyaki?
What was? Are you sure it wasn't takoyaki?
It might be takoyaki.
Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
Okay.
They used to eat that all the time in fucking Kamen Rider Ghost.
What's a takoyaki?
Takoyaki.
What is a takoyaki?
I don't know.
Made with octopus?
Okay, this is not a takoyaki. It's a taiyaki. So it's a pastry, it's almost like it's got like a McDonald's apple pie crust.
Okay, that's definitely not what I'm talking about then.
No.
And it's shaped like a fish. It's shaped into a shape of like a cartoon fish. And on the inside is red bean paste. And then it comes with this, it was a sesame paste and a raspberry whipped cream. And it's a dessert. It's a sweet, slightly savory dessert. And it was fucking awesome, you guys. Like, I've always, watching a lot of Food Network, I've always heard about red bean paste as a dessert ingredient in Japanese cuisine. I'm like, that's fucking, it's kind of weird. Red bean paste. But no. It's dope, you guys. Like, we'll be back there, and I think that's something that both of us will get again. So, A+ on that. It was cold as balls. It was probably, it was nighttime. It was after Mary got off work, so it was around 8 o'clock, and it was when we hit our real cold snap. So, it was about 40 degrees outside in Florida. So, we made our way around the World Showcase, walked our asses onto Spaceship Earth, rode that, and then got the fuck out of there. Cool. Awesome.
Hell yeah.
And then Saturday, we went to Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios, by far, my favorite Disney park of all time. But right now, it's a little sad because They closed down the backstage tour. They closed down the animation pavilion. A lot of shit is.
What the hell are they doing then? It's like we went to Hollywood Studios last time we were down there, and it was great.
Well, no,
Shows you how to be a Vine star.
It's still great, but because they're expanding for the Toy Story Land and for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, they had to close down a bunch of shit. So there's no more car stunt show. The animation pavilion is now called the Star Wars Launch Bay, which is a bunch of meet and greet with Star Wars characters and a bunch of props, and then they've got the dioramas of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So still pretty cool, but you having it, considering it was my favorite park, you kind of miss the old MGM studios of it, because I fancied myself a Disney animator when I was a kid. So the animation pavilion, where you could actually see people working on film cells, super cool stuff.
Yeah, it was really neat.
We got to move forward. It's not a working studio anymore. They closed down the Great Movie Ride because they're replacing that with a Mickey and Minnie ride. So pretty much the only opening day's attractions that are left are the Indiana Jones stunt show, because Star Tours wasn't even an opening day attraction. That being said,
it's not.
They're making up for the fact that so much shit is closed with so much Star Wars content. Every hour, they do a March of the First Order down Hollywood Boulevard. And it's Captain Phasma with probably 20 stormtroopers just walking down Hollywood Boulevard, talking shit to people as they go along. And then they do a little stage show thing. They peace out, and then a half hour later, they do this whole big Star Wars stage show with Darth Vader, Chewbacca, BB-8, Rey, Darth Maul, Kylo Ren. They each get their own little scene. They get a little action scene, lots of cool pyro. Like when the stormtroopers shoot their guns, actual fireworks come out of the guns.
That's cool.
It was dope.
That's fucking cool.
No lie, very cool. So the stage is set up, and the backdrop is a screen. So whenever the different characters come out, they would change the screen to something that is appropriate for that character. And when Kylo Ren comes out, they change it to a First Order banner.
I think you meant that motherfucker Kylo Ren.
That motherfucker Kylo Ren. And he comes out, and he turns towards the backdrop, the screen, and starts slashing at it with his lightsaber. And because it's a screen, it reacts to his lightsaber like he's tearing the shit out of it.
That's cool.
He's having a little Kylo Ren tantrum. We got to ride Star Tours, our first time riding Star Tours since they added stuff for Episode 7 and Episode 8. And we got to go to Jakku, and we got to go to Crate, and then...
You guys drink that titty milk?
I fucking wish. And then
they did like the Universal. They got the butter beer for Harry Potter. They did that.
They're doing the
Star Wars land.
They're doing the whole.
Yes,
Galaxy.
I'd like to order 3 titty milk.
Well, you're not going to call it titty milk, but you're for sure going to be able to order blue milk at Star Wars Galaxy Edge. I guarantee.
Well, you can't call it jizz because that's music.
Right, exactly. But one of the things that I found really interesting, and I don't know if it's the case for all Star Tours rides, because it's randomized. You get one scene in the beginning, one scene at the end, and now they have it to where the different trilogies don't intermingle. Like if you start out with a prequel scene, your second scene is going to be a prequel scene, so on and so forth.
That sucks.
But when we landed, you basically land in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. You're landing in the fucking concept art for Galaxy's Edge, and it is neat. So cool.
That's fucking cool.
So it was great. And then we ended the night. They do a projection show onto the Chinese theater. First, it's just like your favorite Disney movies, and they project it all onto the building. And then they do a Star Wars version, and it's just so good. It's projection mapping and then fireworks, and it's all to Star Wars music and clips from the movie. Too cool.
Yeah, somebody at work was talking about trying to plan a trip and all this and that, and like I just don't know that I want to go to Disney, and I'm like, no, you do. Like, of course you want to go to. I'm trying not to mark out, but I'm like, it's fucking cool. Like, the lady at work, so I'm like, I don't know if my kids will like it. Your kids will. How old are they? 10? Yeah, they'll fucking love it. What are you talking about? Like, take them to Disney. Like,
I feel like that's the talk you guys would have with me.
it's so cool, Kelly. You'd love it.
I don't know. Would I?
Yeah.
I don't really care about any Disney things.
See, I can identify with Kelly's point of view, but mostly because as we're standing in line, we had fast passes for Frozen. We also got a fast pass for Star Tours when we rode. As we're standing in line for the fast pass line for Frozen, I'm looking over at the standby line of these poor motherfuckers that have been standing here for 3 hours. 3 hours.
3 hours for literally anything, though.
Like,
God.
back in the day, like back in when I was a kid growing up and we had Disney annual passes living in Florida, like I don't remember anything being a 3 hour wait. But now that's like all the top attractions, if you're riding standby, you're waiting 3 hours for Frozen.
Don't ride standby. When you're a fucking chump, like,
Yeah,
don't
but
ride
they
standby.
run out of fast passes, and if you're only spending 1 day at the park and you can't get a fast pass for Frozen, and your little girl loves Frozen, I guess you're spending 3 hours in a goddamn line.
So I think they changed it. They must have changed it since we were there, because like running out of fast passes was not a fucking thing last time we were there. You walk in the machine, you hit the button, and the thing pops out.
No, 100%. Like they will only produce so many fast passes because they've got some policy where for every one person that goes through the standby line, they let in 10 people for fast pass. So if fast passes are unlimited, no one would ever ride standby ever again.
No, but it gives you a time, right, to go back.
Sure, but there's only so many hours in the day, man.
Right, but like, see, you fucking roll up at 8:00, and even if you get there and you're like, the 100th person in line, or whatever, but you fucking throw down your fast pass and it's like, okay, come back at 1:30, then you know to come back at 1:30.
But
you
also
can fucking schedule the whole goddamn day out that way if you wanted to.
You're also dealing with anyone that stays at the resorts. They get fast pass priority. They can book their fast passes like 90 days in advance and shit like that.
I'm sorry. Fucking what?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. It's a little nuts, man. And I can't abide by that. Like, I love Star Wars and I love Star Tours, but I can't ever stand in line I wouldn't stand in line for an hour for Star Tours.
I think we did about 45 minutes for Space Mountain once, and that was
45
enough.
is doable. Yeah.
Like,
The ladies
because
love
the thing
Space
too is
Mountain.
that, like, those queues are those queues are very cool and interactive. There's shit to do like while you're in line. Like, you're not just standing in between like turnstiles and shit. So there's that part, I guess, which is kind of not terrible. But get the fuck out of here with a 3 hour wait for anything.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
And it's part of the appeal of doing the annual pass with the blackout dates is we can pretty much go whenever we want. We can go ride one ride and then fuck off. We can
Yeah, the blackout dates is like, oh, you mean I can't come when it'll be exponentially less pleasant?
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
but instead of trying to cram everything you want to do in one park into one day, we're just checking off boxes, week by week, taking our time. There were a couple things that we were like, hey, you want to do this? And they're like, we'll catch it next time.
That's cool.
Like
They still have the Country Bears? Is that still a thing?
Country Bears is still a thing, I
Good.
believe.
I like that that's survived all this time.
I don't know how much longer you can count on Country Bears surviving, but yes, it is still a thing.
Yeah,
Like,
because they're
that's-
in like a restaurant, right?
What's that?
They're in like a restaurant, right?
Well, it's next door to a restaurant. They've got it's a hoop-de-doo review where it's like a dinner show a bunch of cowboys do. But no, Country Bears is not a restaurant.
See, I think that's where I would hang out.
The hoop-de-doo review?
Yeah, that sounds really dumb, and I think I'd enjoy it.
Yeah, well, it's probably $40 a head though.
I mean, I'm already at Disney. I'm probably gonna be spending money on things.
Yeah, you know, you're right.
Man's got a point.
Man has a point. So stay tuned for more Disney adventures as the year continues. Not quite sick of it yet.
Yeah, and you know what? If you fucking do get sick of it, take a week or two off.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
If you start getting sick of it, go have some cowboys sing at you. See how you feel then.
They're doing the NHL All-Star Game in Tampa this coming weekend, and part of it, they're doing a fan fest where you can do a bunch of, you know, like fucking WrestleMania Access type shit, but NHL, and they're going to have the Stanley Cup there. And one of the things that I've had on my bucket list for me and my old man is seeing the Stanley Cup in person. So he and I were going to take a trip down to Tampa on Sunday. This motherfucker, we're making these plans via email, and looks like we're all good to go. We've made plans. We got plans for Sunday. We're going to go see the Cup. Then I get another email from him, and it's a Google invite that my father sent me to confirm plans. But anyhow, you know, me and my dad made these plans, and Mary's already like, oh, I'm going to see what kind of fucking fast passes I can get and go by myself.
Man, I'll bet a solo Disney day be the shit.
Yeah, because you can literally do whatever you want. And they
Fuck
have
yeah.
a bunch of the rides, they have single rider lines.
That's another one. Fuck yeah, single rider line. Like, when they had that at Universal when we were there, and there was a lot of, you know, hey, this line is an hour and a half, or we could just, you know, sit in different rows right now. Yeah, let's just do that. Like, people are dumb. The Harry Potter thing, the standby line was like 2 hours and change, and it's like
just to get in the place.
Yeah, like the big ride, the big like castle
okay.
Hogwarts.
I thought like to get into the park.
The Forbidden Journey.
Yeah, but the two in holes are right next to each other, and like it's all on the front street. It's like this line is 2.5 hours. This line for single riders is 17 minutes. So it's like, I'm gonna go in this line that no one's in because apparently I'm smarter than everyone else in this line. And like Nicole got in there too. You know what? We got on at the same time, separated by 2 rows of people, and went on about our fucking lives. Like,
Well, what you find a lot of is, especially this time of year, is tour groups. Have you guys ever encountered Brazilian tour groups at theme parks?
not specifically Brazilian. No.
Sounds
man.
delightful.
This time of year, it is we've only been 3 times, and we've already seen the influx of Brazilian tour groups. And you know, not to cast shade on an entire country of people, but Brazilian tour groups are the fucking worst. It's maybe like 50 teenaged, mostly female Brazilians that came over to go to Disney, and they all wear the same t-shirts. None of them put on deodorant, and they all follow one person, probably an adult or a chaperone. Back in my day, they used to carry around a flag, and they would all follow the flag. Now
like a motherfucker in an umbrella.
Now we're seeing they've got these fucking big inflatable like tube things with like shaped like a stop sign almost. I passed one and I just wanted to jump up and thunk it. And
That sounds awful.
you know, they all go on the rides together. So you get one of them, you're getting 50 of them at once. And they're rude, and they cut in line, and Mel in the chat says they chant. They don't, and because English isn't their first language, they chant like soccer chants. And because they're Brazilian and they speak Portuguese, you know, that's their native language.
No one knows what the fuck they're saying.
Well, and they can pretend like they don't understand what anyone else is saying. So if a cast member is like telling them about their ass, they're like, I don't understand. I'm gonna stay sitting here in the middle of Main Street, USA, and wait for the fireworks. You guys just walk around me. But in general, Brazilians are lovely people.
Yeah, very attractive lot, the Brazilians.
Yeah.
No one's ever gonna say they're not.
No.
God damn, that sounds terrible. What's got going on, Kelly?
I had the most unsettling video game experience of my entire life.
Whoa!
So I'm going to give a big ol' spoiler warning on this. If the game is called Doki Doki Literature Club, and it is in the style of a Japanese dating sim, and it completely earns the warning that they give before you start playing that tells you if you have anxiety or depression issues, you should not play this game.
Jesus.
Oh.
So I'll say that, and then if this sounds like it's up your alley, just skip ahead like 10 minutes. Because this is a game that you'd really want to know as little as possible going into before you play it. So, spoiler cutoff starts right now. So the game is it's like one of those Japanese dating sims where you're a dude in high school and you're walking to school and your childhood friend meets up with you and she's like, hey, why don't you come join the literature club? And then you're like, I'm not doing anything else. All right.
And this is what, a DS game?
No, it's on Steam. It's a
Okay.
free download. The game is free. I should have said that before. Then she's like, oh, come to the literature club. And you're like, all right, fine, let's go. So then you go to her literature club, and of course, it's got 3 beautiful women. Oh, what luck! So then, you do the whole, you join the club and you're hanging out, and it's just like, oh, you get to start kind of picking which lady you're going to try and court. So your project is you're supposed to write poems, and what you do is they give you different words to choose from, and then it kind of composes a thing for you, and you trade off poems with each other and shit.
Like,
and it's just
one of those panty wetness meters. I'll let you know how well you're doing.
Oh, if only. It doesn't get that gross, thankfully.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
But and you the entire time you're like, this is why do people keep saying this is weird? This is just a straightforward dating sim. I don't play these. These are dumb. And then your childhood friend, whose name escapes me right now, she starts acting odd. And at first you don't really think anything of it. But she kind of just starts being like, oh, I'm just glad, you're being friends with everyone. That's cool. That's really cool. You're being friends with everyone. And then so eventually you have one of the girls come over to your house to work on some kind of school project, and the childhood friend is there, and she just unloads on you where she's like, nothing feels good. I hate everything. I'm always sad. Everything hurts. And you're like, oh no. So then she tells you
I know this girl.
Yeah, so she confesses her love to you, and no matter what you say, it ends with her screaming and crying and running off. You're like, oh, this ended well. So the next day you go to school, and she's not there. So like, oh, okay. So you go to her house to see what's going on. You go in her room, you open the door, and there she is hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, Jesus.
At which point, the game just glitches out. It tells you there's a programming error and takes you back to the start screen. And the button that says, new game is all fucked up, and there's weird squares instead of characters, the letters there should be. So you click new game, and the game starts over. But this time it's you see your friend, and it's just a bunch of random letters and percentage signs and shit for their name. And then it's just a total, it gives you another error message. And then she's just erased. She's just gone. So you go through the game again with her gone. And then that's when shit gets real weird. Because then you start noticing things are wrong with characters, and they're not acting like how they were before. The leader of the club, Monica, is very pushy. And Yuri, the girl who was over at your house before, is kind of standoffish and just strange. And at one point, like, Yuri's gonna go, she's like, oh, I'll go make tea, I'll be right back. And she's just gone for 10 minutes. It's like, okay, so you go into the hallway to look for her, and you just find her slicing up her arm with a knife.
Jesus.
And then, as soon as you see her, the game turns to black and white and just flashes back, like it rewinds to back when you were sitting down, and you're like, huh, Yuri's gone. That's probably for some good reason.
That's fucking nuts.
And then it keeps going like that. And at one point, you're like, the two of the girls are arguing, and that's when you kind of realize what's happening when Monica, her body moves in front of the word blocks, so you can't read them anymore.
That's fucking weird.
And then that's your first kind of hint that Monica might know something more than she should about the game. And the creepiest thing I've ever fucking seen, probably ever, is when you're talking to Yuri and she's like, after the club meeting, she's telling you, she's like, man, Monica's been acting really weird, and she's like, you know, she keeps trying to tell me that you know, not to worry about things with stuff. And as she's talking to you, her eyes turn from anime eyes to normal human eyes.
Oh.
And it's the scariest thing I've ever fucking seen.
Oh no.
And as she's talking to you, the screen pulses like a heartbeat. And like it turns to like black and white and kind of to red, and just the human eyes are just kind of darting around, just looking at you and looking around the room.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so then the next day at school, Yuri just kind of once again pulls out the knife and just slices her throat open in front of you. And then you just sit there and stare at her dead body for a while.
And there's a free game, huh?
Yes.
like cost you nothing but your time.
Nope. Cost me 4 hours of time. So then you're just staring at this body. Like, you can't do anything. The time is just going by. Like, you see it changes from day to night to morning. Day, night, morning. And I guess your character just stayed there the whole weekend with Yuri's body at school, because you can see the blood on her darkening as the time goes by.
Jesus.
And then that's when one of the other girls from the clubs walks in. She's like, "Oh, what's going?" And she just starts screaming, and the game once again glitches out. And then you go back to the game again.
Oh.
And then another thing that really kind of makes you question your sanity is you're supposed to pick like which girl you're going to hang out with that weekend, and your mouse just keeps moving to Monica's name.
Huh.
Like, no matter where you go on the screen, your mouse moves there.
That's fucking terrible.
It's horrifying.
God.
And then so eventually you choose her, and one thing leads to another. Monica realizes she's in a video game. She knows. And she just takes control of the programming, deletes all the other girls, and then just brings you to a single room where it's just you and her in the classroom. In the background, you can see out the windows. It's like this weird kind of galaxy background with like fire flying past it every now and then. And then she just yammers at you for what is either, I looked it up, you can either sit and talk with her for 45 fucking minutes.
Like 45 real minutes?
Yes. She'll just say things to you. And like, she'll, even in the beginning, she's like, "Oh, you know, never really talked to you before, Kelly." She's like, that's your name, right? That's your real name. I know you just typed this in, but I'm just going to assume that's your real name. She's like, "I don't really know if you're a boy or girl. It doesn't really matter, I guess."
That's fucked up.
Yeah. And then, so what you have to do if you don't want to wait the 45 minutes, you have to go into the game's files and delete her.
Oh my god.
You delete her character file. And then once again, the game glitches out. You start all over. Except she's not there this time. This is the one time Monica's not there. So then everything kind of just goes how it did the first time. But, you know, the girl that hung herself is there. The girl that stabbed herself in the throat is there. And then you kind of start going, it's like, okay, so everything's going all right. And then your childhood friend, the one that hung herself, is just like, I know everything that happened. I know why I'm here. I know what Monica did. And she's like, I'm the only one that loves you.
Jesus Christ.
So then somehow, and then after that, then you start getting error messages that, like, it pops up on the screen. It just goes, can you hear me? And then you have to click OK. And it's like, I can help you. And you have to click OK. And then Monica comes back through, pretty much closes out the game. She sends it to the end credits, and she, like, gives you a message where it comes through. It's like, you can't play this anymore. It's going to kill you. And then you just, like, it starts to go to the credits, and then you hear, hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And you're just like, what the fuck? No, it's talking to me.
Jesus.
And then it's a callback to, in the game, Monica keeps telling you, she's like, oh, I've been learning piano. I want to, I'll play you a song sometime. So the end credit music is the song she kept telling you she was going to play for you.
That's kind of rad.
It's pretty amazing. And then at the very end, a letter comes up on the screen, written kind of in the style, because in the game, you're reading through the girl's poetry, and of course it gets weirdly dark as the game goes on.
Well, I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah. But, like, the final bit it's a letter from Monica just saying, she's glad she could help you one more time, and again, like I said, you can't play this game anymore. It's going to kill you if you keep doing it. And then you hit OK, and it closes out the game because it's like, oh, there's an error, you can't play it. I'm like, okay. Then if you try to go open the game again, it gives you the same message. It shows you the letter and then gives you the error message. You have to completely uninstall the game and reinstall it if you ever want to play it again.
Whoa.
It's fucking insane. It's one of the craziest video game experiences I've ever had.
Huh.
It's one of those things, it could only be a video game. It can't be anything else.
Oh, right, yeah, of course.
And you have no idea how badly I want Jose to play this game and live stream it.
What the fuck? ESPN, the global leader in sports.
Because not only do I think it would be great to watch Jose play a dating sim for like an hour, I would love to watch it turn on him like this one does.
The whole thing's fucked.
I want to watch what Jose does when the people eyes come out and just start looking at him.
ESPN, the global leader in sports. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
We fucking been at this game a while. Maybe it's time to get a fucking Twitch channel, you guys. Twitch channel.
I think this would be worth it, watching Jose play Doki Doki Literature Club.
Go ahead and put a fucking asterisk by this season.
Sure.
And then, so yeah, that is one of my favorite games of 2017 now.
Yeah, no shit. That's wild as hell.
Yeah. And then I spent 2 hours of my day yesterday watching a YouTube video about about why a guy doesn't like Super Mario Odyssey.
Kelly the fuck, man. Come on.
I had to know. It's one of those things that, I love that game. And I can understand not liking it. What I can't understand is making what's essentially a feature-length presentation about not liking it. I had to watch it so I could kind of just try and understand this person.
You know what? I think if more people did that, we would have fewer wars, Kelly. That's good. I like that. I like it. I take it back. I'm on board.
It really comes down to the guy thinks it isn't hard enough, and that's pretty much it. I think he's the kind of guy that values a challenge over fun in a video game, and fuck that.
Oh, so an asshole.
Bang this bitch the fuck out!
Yeah, that's exactly that guy.
Just an asshole. Got it. Check.
And then there's just the irony of the video where he kept talking about how much time the game wastes, and I'm like, motherfucker, you made a 2-hour-long video about this game. That is the definition of wasting your time.
And yet you're the asshole for watching it, so...
Yeah.
Play the overall, man.
Because he was going on about how, like, when you get a moon in the game, there's like a 4-second animation that plays, like, to show it's like, hey, you got this.
That's just too much happy for him?
Yeah. Because I guess he made a YouTube video that compiles all of those together, and it's 72 minutes. And he was complaining about how long that took. And I'm like, dude,
I hate this guy.
Your video is 2 hours. You're the one that thought you needed to make the compilation of all of those things.
I'm not a fan.
No, like, I couldn't understand it. Even 2 hours in, like, there was, maybe out of every 20 things he said, there was a point that I could kind of get and understand. But God, I can't imagine hating a video game so much that I'm gonna make a 2-hour video. Lord knows how long it took him to make that.
Yeah, it was probably 7 hours to start with.
Well, and not only to make it, he had to beat the entire game while capturing it so he could use all of that footage in the game, in the video.
Well, no one will ever say he wasn't thorough, Kelly.
Yeah, not only did he beat the game, he got, like, everything. He completed it. Like, I just can't imagine forcing myself to do that for a game I don't enjoy.
I do not care. This guy's newsletter.
Because at least, like, there's a guy whose YouTube videos I watch, he calls himself the completionist, and that's, like, his gimmick. He goes through and completes games. Like, that's his whole thing. And those videos are fun to watch because he takes joy in doing these things. And, like, he loved Super Mario Odyssey. And every now and then, he does a clunker. Like, I haven't watched it yet, but he did a video on the N64 Superman.
Oh, boy. That's a tough sit, that game.
And it's like, his videos are, the longest one I've seen is 40 minutes. And that was for a game that he enjoyed, Super Mario Odyssey. So it's like, even when he doesn't like the game, he's not going to spend 2 hours ripping it down.
Well, no, because it's, yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know. I don't know how... I wanted to understand him. I really did. And I do to an extent, but goddamn, dude.
I appreciate your effort there, man, but some people are just the worst people.
Yeah, they really are.
And, you know, they got some YouTube channels.
Yeah.
You know, in another life, he's taking pictures of dead bodies in Japan, so...
Yeah. And I saw he had another video that's like 1 hour and 49 minutes long about Breath of the Wild, and it says, not enough Zelda. And I was like, God... I was tempted to watch that one too, but I can't do it.
Stories like this, I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely a guy who doesn't have kids.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Ugh, gross. Fuck that guy. The worst. Don't like it.
So we've got a single voicemail.
Oh, what do we got? Let's do it.
Look at all this fan mail.
Let's see.
I like a voicemail.
I'm calling. I'd like to order something. Please give me a call back at 917-588-4287. Thank you.
I'm calling and I would like to order something. Please give me a call back at blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
What the fuck, guy?
Our voicemail clearly says what we are and what we're doing.
Should we call him?
Here.
Yeah, so what can we sell this guy? He's like, I want that. He's like, I want that Population T-shirt DVD combo pack.
Can we get him that calendar with Jose?
Man, I wish we could.
I mean, we've got. I know I still have mine.
What was that? 2010 calendar?
Sounds about right. Yes.
That's useful. 2010 calendar? 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 2010 calend
Yeah. Why
Well,
not?
I mean, would it be? When would a 2010 calendar be legit again?
Oh, that's a good question.
Is it every 7 years or
Yeah,
Can't remember.
six
missed
years?
it. Just missed it by this much.
My favorite things was when Mary moved in with me, and a few months later, her mom was cleaning out her room. And she was like, "I was cleaning out your room, and I found this poster of Jose naked." Someone tell that boy to put his clothes back on.
Oh, that's fucking wonderful.
Classic.
They can reuse a 2010 calendar in 2021.
Sweet. That's not too far away.
Them leap years. Gotta think about them leap years, right?
And then it's usable again in 2027. What a value.
Mel in the chat says that his wife gave the Jose calendar as a white elephant gift. That is spectacular. Like, what the?
Oh,
what
that's my favorite thing I've heard all day.
What the
Incredible.
fuck is this? Panels on Pages. Who is this
And
dude?
then they probably went onto the website hoping to find some sweet naked brown boys.
Sweet naked
Just got
brown
this
boys.
shit.
That is mwah.
Classic.
Oh, that's delicious.
He says it was a hit.
No shit, it was. Oh, that's amazing. Incredible. All right, let's take us a break.
They're like, maybe there's a picture without that rancor there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget being up close and personal, just trying to do my best to take out the little bit of underwear you can see in that photo.
Doing the
that's
Lord's
great.
work.
That's fucking great. All right, let's take a break. Go take a pee, get a drink, all that fun stuff, and we'll come back. We'll talk about some news. All right, so enjoy this. Love you, kids. Bye. Ripped Apparel is your one-stop shop for limited edition t-shirts featuring all the crap that you already like anyway. Every day you're going to see 3 new limited edition designs available only for 24 hours. That's just a single day. After that, they're gone forever. And best yet, if you want to check them out, buy a little something, they're going to throw a little kickback to us, your folks, your friends here at the Popcast. So go to PanelsOnPages.com, click that banner at the top of the page, or on the sidebar at pcn.panelsonpages.com, or you can just update your bookmark, check it on your phone every single morning. That's what I do. Ripped, that's RIPT.panelsonpages.com. T-shirts start at just $10 and they'll kick us a little something every time. Help us keep the lights on, help us keep the podcast going, help us keep the side up, and get you a pretty cool t-shirt, man. Cool swag, cool shirts, good people, good deals from your favorite podcast. So check it out. Ripped.panelsonpages.com. 24-hour limited edition t-shirts that are pretty damn awesome. Check it out. And now back to your regularly scheduled podcast. Hey, all right.
Nothing like a blast from Fangirl of the Month calendar past to start the show out right.
Before, middle, after, during. People's going places, man.
Well, that's an eyeful.
I will never forget that artwork that we had to deal with.
Oh, God, that artwork.
That fucking artwork.
My favorite one was the one that's just... It just wasn't even close to what we asked for. And it's been like 2 days we working in Photoshop to make it look kind of like what the girl wanted.
Yep.
The artist just like, nah.
Well, they worked for free, so.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Baby smooth, nice. Jesus Christ. Baby smooth.
That's not me.
Oh, somehow I know.
Well, you too. Your baby smooths too.
No, I wish.
My brother was telling me about something. He's like, yeah, I'm taking these like testosterone supplements to kind of help with this weight loss or whatever. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, but and he's like, that's where this came from. And he pointed to his face because he had this big ass beard out of nowhere, and that's kind of where it is. I'm like, oh, well, then I gotta stay like as far away from that fucking shit as possible. I'm like, it's just like, look at that. And his new girlfriend was with us. Like, I pull my shirt up a little bit, and she's like, oh my God, every part of you is covered in hair. Like, yeah. Like, I made Robin Williams look smooth.
She's like,
terrible.
She's like, holy shit, do you have tattoos? Are there tattoos under there?
Right. I got the one. Yeah, you can see a couple of them. I got my wrist and shit. It's fine. Oh, yeah, I also forgot to mention, if you want to email us, popcast@panelsonpages.com, or voicemail us, 616-951-1POP. Don't do that shit at the mail part. So, yeah, do that.
Yeah, email us if you want Jose to start a Twitch channel. He'll stick with it for at least a week. We promise.
I just want to see Jose play that one game. That's all I really need out of this.
I feel like that would actually be... Because the thing about the stuff that Jose does, I mean, he gets like these, get these wild hair up his ass, and they're really great stuff, but like, they're all very time-intensive projects, man. But I've seen these motherfuckers just sit down and play a goddamn video game. Like, he can do that.
Yeah, it would take 4 hours of his time.
You know, I was talking with him, because we recorded a couple episodes of 11th Hour Radio, and he did his Clean Slate video series, then he did the, he's had a couple of video series, and I had to tell him, sometimes when you're just reading, we can see in your face you're just trying to get through the words. You're just trying to get the words out, and we're not getting that, that Jose personality that draws people to you. So you gotta loosen up a little bit, get a little loosey-goosey. So I think a Twitch channel might be perfect. But
yeah.
But I don't know. He might let a few words slip that shouldn't.
We'll get them headlines. Fucking get internet famous. He'd be like, guys, have you heard about this PewDiePie character?
Oh, no.
Yeah, Jose's not going to be throwing around no N-words, but he does love that other F word. Loves the gays. Let me preface that.
But I think we should take it back.
That's what he said. We were talking about it, and he was like, "How dare they? How dare they take that word from us?" I was like, "Who's they?" He's like, "I don't know." They.
I mean, because the sheer fact of the matter is, it's kind of fun to say.
That's true.
Yeah, what's up with the news?
All right.
We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fuck it!
In 5, 4, 3.
This is the Pop Top 5-pack of news for January 23rd, 2018.
Fucking thing sucks!
Marvel artist Jon Malin went full Proud Boi on Twitter late Sunday night, responding to a fan that the X-Men are not social justice warriors, and that, in fact, in World War II, the Nazis were the true SJWs. Marvel apparently doesn't provide health care to their freelancers because this guy has obviously stopped taking his pills. The Academy Award nominations were announced today, with genre films Logan, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and Star Wars The Last Jedi pulling in nods, leaving one of the year's biggest superhero movies, Wonder Woman, completely snubbed. Keep trying, ladies. You'll have another shot with that Black Widow movie that's totally happening. Coinciding with the Oscar nominations were the announcement of this year's Razzie nominees. And don't ever put it past them to grab the low-hanging fruit, with Transformers The Last Night garnering the most nominations. God forbid they didn't have a Transformers movie to pile onto, or they might have actually had to do some work this year. Are those wedding bells we hear? Or is that the sound of Colossus's shiny clackers banging against Kitty Pryde's butt on their honeymoon? Either way, the two X-Men will marry in X-Men Gold number 30 in June. In lieu of gifts, they will accept gift certificates for Armor All. And finally, a petition has been launched demanding ABC renew The Inhumans. And at just over 3,000 signatures, that's almost twice as many people as actually watch the show. And that is the Pop Top 5-pack of news for January 23rd, 2018.
Wow. Infotainment.
This fucking guy.
God, this guy.
Like, if it weren't for the fact that I could barely pull 5 stories, I probably would have just skipped past talking about this whatsoever, because fuck this guy. Like, you're the artist on cable. Like, shut the fuck
And Kelly
up.
called him shitty Rob Liefeld.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
He is kind of shitty Rob Liefeld.
So this fucking guy is talking on Twitter. He was decrying the social justice warrior insertion of identity politics into mainstream comics.
And you know what? I'll actually take that trip with you to a certain degree.
When a fan responded to him that said, the X-Men, of which Cable is frequently a member, would be defined as literal social justice warriors in a positive sense rather than the negative connotation that, the right uses, or fucking men's rights activists, or just general misogynists, whatever. In response,
oh God,
Jon Malin on Twitter, @JonMalin, X-Men are closer to Jews in SJW Hitler's Germany, fighting for freedom because they see ideologues rising, silencing them, weaponizing hate, racism, and socialism against the people they claim are the root of social ills. SJWs are not Nazis, but Nazis are SJWs, and X-Men are not SJWs. So I had to... this is fucking crazy person nonsense. Right?
Yeah.
I had to read over it a few times to finally get his point.
Oh, yeah, I had to read it a bunch of times.
Yeah. It's not super easy.
His point is essentially that social justice warriors in our current present day, and specifically the comic book industry, are trying to silence people. They're trying to, censor or stop, the right from speaking their mind. So
Which is, he's not wrong on that point. That is a thing.
So he compared that to Hitler and the Nazis
and
trying
that's when
to
it goes
silence
where
the
it goes wrong.
Jews.
That's when it takes a turn.
Jumped right onto it. Jumped right into it.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy. I don't even know who would be in charge of that at Marvel. Like if that's like an editor thing. I don't know who that would be.
Well,
but that guy definitely just put his head in his hands.
He he ends his run on cable in February, and he currently doesn't have any announced Marvel work. So he's done, essentially. Right? Right.
Probably. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like he's not like the fucking dude that did that weird. Let's put anti-Jewish scripture in our comics. Like, he didn't do that.
Well, that was another thing is, once he made these comments, people were like, okay, let me go back and look at these guys' comic books, see if he did any of that shit. And there were a couple people pointing towards possibilities, but he's like, no. I didn't do that. I'm not this fucking guy. But this fucking guy,
yeah,
he, everyone's favorite racist uncle, Ethan Van Sciver, was like, what, this guy's all right. Let's talk on a podcast about this whole thing.
Ethan Van Sciver is one of those guys that, boy, I like him more when he didn't talk so much.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. And my few interactions with him in person, he seems like a nice person.
Yeah,
but
he's always been super
we
cool.
never did talk politics, so...
Yeah, no, can't do that.
His politics are fucking doo-doo garbage. So,
yeah, I love that.
Ivan Brandon tweeted this. It was a transcript of their discussion, Jon Malin and Ethan Van Sciver's discussion.
God.
And just transcribe this little bit. Jon Malin. A lot of things that they brought up. This is in reference to the Women's March, which was Saturday, Sunday. A lot of things that they brought up, like the wage gap. That women make, 75 cents on the dollar. I think that's the number, whatever. Don't quote me, but essentially that's what they're saying. And, but that, it doesn't factor in that women take time off when they have pregnancies. They don't tend to take heavy construction jobs that pay 20-some plus dollars an hour. That's what I did before I did comic books. I was a bridge builder for highways. And then there's no woman out there that are doing that. No women. So they're more than welcome. They just don't want those jobs when you're dangling off a 60-foot bridge. So because they don't take those jobs or they choose to be housewives, it skews the numbers. Ethan Van Sciver responds, ha 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 ha. Yeah, those are all jobs that don't interest me either, frankly. Oh my god.
I just love how I'm not sure if he knows he was a bridge builder or not.
Like for highways or something?
I think I might have built a bridge once.
No, wait, bathtubs. That's what I was thinking of, bathtubs.
It's like my grandmother always said, you can build 100 bridges. You'll never be a build-bridger, but you suck one dick and you're a cocksucker for life.
Love that line. Love that bit.
This guy's opinions are as shitty as his art.
Well, let's not say things we can't take back.
I don't know. You seen his art?
His opinions are way worse.
I don't know. His art's real bad.
Like, great. I mean, I'm not saying it's good.
Like
it's
art,
very bad.
His art looks worse once you know what his opinions are.
But the thing is, though, like I feel like on something like that Thunderbolts book or Cable, it's kind of perfect.
I don't know. It's like he's doing a cover of The Rob, but it's not anywhere near as good.
A cover of The Rob?
Oh, Lord.
And it's like when you can't even be as good as The Rob, why even try?
Yeah, he's not wrong about that.
So, the X-Men aren't social justice warriors because his main takeaway of a social justice warrior is they're trying to silence and censor.
Hitler. They're all Hitler.
X-Men are the
Like,
Jews.
that's just not a thing that I would generally associate with the Nazis. Oh, it's not quite the same thing, bro.
You know, they just wanted to silence the Jews. Like, they didn't really do anything else. You
Yeah,
know,
like,
the Holocaust probably never even happened.
Now, they just got real shitty on Twitter.
Yeah.
They got real shit on Twitter. That was as bad as it got, I'm sure.
You know, Hitler really wasn't like a monster. He was just like a painter?
That's right. Someone talked shit about him on Twitter, on his paintings, and it all went down south from there.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. But you know what? Hey, we got to fucking... The man's entitled to his opinion, but that doesn't mean that we have to listen to it.
Nope. Right.
And it doesn't mean we can't call him stupid.
Nope, not at all. So have fun doing... I don't know. Have fun with your Patreon, son.
I did like the people that would like respond to his dudes like, man, I don't read anything from Marvel, but I just went on Comixology and bought every issue of Cable you did.
God.
Oh Lord.
Proud
You know
Boy,
what?
hashtag Proud Boys Unite.
Good for those people. I'm happy for them. I hope they enjoy the Cable. Jesus
I
Christ.
hope they read it and just think, man, this art's shit.
I'm like, wait, this is that guy? Aw. Boy, have I been duped. I hope they actually say dupe.
On one hand, I can believe that The Undertaker is a Trump supporter. But then on the other hand, that document that is going around says that he's from Austin, Texas, and not Death Valley, so I don't believe it.
That's horseshit, and we all know it.
So the Oscar nominations were released today? Was that today? It's been a long day. Or was it yesterday?
I think it was today.
Okay. So Logan was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Blade Runner 2049, Kong Skull Island, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and War for the Planet of the Apes all nominated for visual effects. Not a single nomination for Wonder Woman, which people seem to be up in arms about. But come on, these... Like, the biggest story is that Logan got Best Adapted Screenplay. Like, that's the prestige categories there. Visual effects, come on, guys. Like, Suicide Squad won an Oscar for wardrobe last year. Or what, was it wardrobe or makeup? Or
It was
costume?
makeup.
Okay.
Yeah.
I say again, in the year that Star Trek Beyond came out.
Yeah. So, there's that.
This is my annual... I've never seen these fucking movies report. Because boy, have I seen like none of these fucking movies.
Mary is...
A lot of Get Out nominations, though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
I enjoyed that a lot. That was a good movie.
I keep seeing people lump in Get Out and The Shape of Water as two horror movies that got nominated for Best Picture, and I'm like, is The Shape of Water a horror movie? I don't think it is.
I don't know enough about it. I know I want to see it.
I think it's vaguely a horror movie.
All right. Well, me and Mary are talking about going to see that. I am very tentative about seeing Guillermo del Toro movies that aren't giant robots punching giant monsters because I'm in the minority, but Pan's Labyrinth was dog shit, y'all. Like, you tell me a movie is called Pan's Labyrinth and 90% of it is Spanish Civil War, like, give me my $8 back. So I see this Shape of Water, I'm like, that shit looks straight Pan's Labyrinth. But, you know, saw some clips of it during the Golden Globes, and was like, okay, they're all speaking English, and, you know, there's a lot of Fishman in it, so...
A lot of Fishman. I like a good Fishman story. Who amongst us does not? Yeah. Bigger than all that bullshit, though, is the fucking Boss Baby.
Boss Baby.
Best animated feature.
Mary liked the Boss Baby, no
The
lie.
Boss Baby's a fucking hate crime. It is a terrible fucking movie.
I sat down, she was watching the Boss Baby, and this was after Lee came out wholly against Boss Baby. And Mary's watching it, and I came out and sat down with her, like, for the last 15 minutes. And I was like, so, what the fuck is going on? Like, what what is the plot of this? And she's telling me the whole plot. I'm like, oh God, what kind of horrific mess have we gotten ourselves into?
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not creative. It's not interesting. It's barely a fucking movie. Like,
Coco, on the other hand, is amazing.
Yeah, Coco's good times for sure. Yeah,
but good point that Lego Batman movie didn't get nominated.
And the Lego Batman movie is fucking great.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm amazed that didn't get nominated.
It's really good. That, I think I enjoy it more than Coco, but I fucking like Batman. But yeah, that's great. It's fucking good. And again, I've never heard of the other ones, and I've seen a lot of cartoons.
Well, Ferdinand is the John Cena Bull movie.
Yeah. Zoe did like that one. Zoe liked that one. So, but fuck that, man. God, that's gross. So terrible.
The Croods 2 came out in 2017, so...
There was a Croods 2?
When did that happen?
I don't know. I just Googled animated films in 2017, and Croods 2 came up.
Jesus. All right. You fucking say so. That sounds awful. I don't want to see that either.
Yeah, I didn't want to see Croods 1. Those character designs are awful.
Yeah. Now I just like an old dude. These cartoons are no good anymore.
So, along with the Oscar nominations come the Razzie nominations. The Razzies, back in the day, were something that I kind of looked forward to. Kind of like, haha, these are all shit. But this year, I don't know if there's been a trend of they've been getting worse and worse every year. But this year, for worst screen combo, the category worst screen combo, they don't actually pick a combo or a duo of anything. It's any combination of two characters, two sex toys, or two sexual positions. 50 Shades Darker. Any combination of two humans, two robots, or two explosions. Transformers: The Last Night. Any two obnoxious emojis. The Emoji Movie. Johnny Depp and his worn-out drunk routine. Pirates of the Caribbean. Tyler Perry and either the ratty old dress or worn-out wig. Boo 2, A Medea Halloween. You know what? Leave that category out.
Yeah, no, that's dumb as shit.
If you're gonna half-ass that like that,
yeah,
cut the category.
If you want to do that, like if that's the thing you want to do, you could have said whatever the fuck the two characters are in 50 Shades, or fucking Marky Mark and Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Right. You could do that.
Don't read it off the napkin as someone's typing it out.
Two robots or two explosions.
It had an amazing Transformers movie joke in last week's Good Place that just delighted me. So they've gone back to the actual bad place.
Yes.
And Michael walks into his boss's office. He goes, "Oh, Michael, hey, yes, Axe up." And he tosses him like a spray thing of Axe body spray. And he sprays. Oh, thank you. He sprays himself down. He looks at the can and says, "Transformers?" And he says, "Yes, it makes you smell how watching the Transformers movie makes you feel."
Loud and confusing.
Loud and confused.
Oh, no lie, like Bad Place disguise Eleanor. That is that does it for me big time.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. That's fucking great.
Baywatch. They put Baywatch as worst picture. Baywatch, The Emoji Movie, 50 Shades Darker, The Mummy, Transformers: The Last Night. I saw Baywatch. Baywatch was not great, but it is not one of the worst movies of the year.
Let's see.
Transformers.
Let's fucking pull this. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, Transformers ended up taking home the most nominations.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Worst picture. Look, those 50 Shades movies are not bad. It's just fun to shit on them. They're fine. But the Emoji Movie, y'all.
Better or worse than Boss Baby?
Way, way, way worse.
Whoa, really?
Way
and you fucking hate Boss Baby.
Yeah, we Zoe picked that for her birthday party movie at the movie theater, and it was rough, y'all. Ooh, man. That's a tough time.
But for worst actress, Katherine Heigl for Unforgettable. You were just talking about that last week.
Shitty movie too. That's not good. That's not good.
Wait, what movie is that?
That was the movie that Lee was talking about last week.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The paint by numbers crazy white chick movie.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, like they colored inside all the lines on that one. Let's see, Zac Efron and Baywatch. They nominated both the dude and the chick from 50 Shades because how original. Tossed Jennifer Lawrence up there for Mother, which is kind of a bold move. What else we got? Mel Gibson, Anthony Hopkins in Transformers was interesting. Super weird there. That's fine. Yeah, this worst combo is bullshit. Again, Darren Aronofsky, worst director for Mother. Fuck you.
Yeah, but people really hated Mother.
Yeah, I'm willing to watch it. But again, you want to fucking throw worst screenplay up there for Emoji Movie all day? I will co-sign that until the fucking day I die. Because, oof, it's bad. It's so fucking bad. Oh, it's terrible. Getting flashbacks. You know what they fight in the third act? Me neither. No idea.
In the Emoji Movie, they fight something.
There's no fucking resolution to anything.
Do they fight apathy?
There are no fucking stakes.
Do they play Candy Crush?
It's like shitty Wreck-It Ralph.
They fight good taste. Oh!
Ayo!
No, that was from fucking Word 1.
And see, that worries me about Wreck-It Ralph 2 is that it's going to have some of that Emoji Movie stink on it, because Emoji Movie is very much like more internet than video games, and the new Wreck-It Ralph is supposed to be they break the internet, and I just worry that it's going to get some bad juju from the Emoji Movie.
Don't worry, Ready Player One will have it covered.
Wreck-It Ralph, probably the top 5 all-time movie in our household.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Yeah, and I'm not really worried about. I'm not really worried about Wreck-It Ralph 2 because they're competent filmmakers. Like, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fine.
Sure.
Like, nothing to worry about at all.
This June, X-Men Gold number 30, Colossus and Kitty Pryde are getting hitched, y'all.
I'm legit amazed that comic is still issue 30. But like, it's an X-Men comic, not going anywhere. But it's not been long enough to be 30. It's so wild.
Well, I mean,
gotta put it out twice a month.
Oh yeah, they're doing it twice monthly.
Yeah, I don't read that anymore.
I just noticed.
It's fine.
Lee, your profile picture on Google is some chick bending over behind you, and you have a chick's butt over your shoulder.
What?
That's what it looks like.
In your profile picture on Google.
You're just giving it a thumbs up.
That looks like someone's jeans.
I can't tell what that is behind you.
It's not. I'm at the booth. That's one of our booths. I know that.
Right.
So, hell, it could be.
Somebody's just bending over. I never noticed that until right now.
I'm not going to say it's not. Who the hell knows? It might be.
It could be anybody's butt.
It could be. We've seen a lot of butts in our day.
Yeah. Butts have come and gone.
That's as real as it gets.
Seen a lot of butts tonight, even.
We have seen a fair amount of butts.
So, yeah, Colossus and Kitty Pryde, to be honest, I really didn't know that they were still a couple.
Well, they weren't, and then they were again.
Yeah, it just happened recently.
I saw this headline, and I immediately started to think about what sex would be like between the two of them.
Well, obviously.
Like, his big old shiny dick and balls, and then could she, like, phase out of it if she got bored?
I would assume so.
Yeah,
like, so
why
he's
not?
just banging the air at one point? Or could she like phase extra holes?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
No,
Right,
that's not how her powers work.
Well, I mean, she can kind of selectively. Well, no, yeah, because I mean, she could. I think she can maybe make parts of her body tangible and parts not. So she can put just her hand through stuff and not fall through. But she's completely intangible, so like there'd be no traction.
Ooh, can she? So she could phase her teeth out.
Technically, yes. In that case, I think you're totally right. Yeah. Yeah, no, that checks out.
There we go. There we go. This just made me want to do another actual fantasy sports league. What's going on, Zero? We doing another one of those? He said he had one in mind.
Oh god, that'd be great.
Love it. And then
that's all just what would it be like if these two characters banged? No, that's not true.
And then final story. CBR, just
CBR,
a paragon of journalistic integrity.
Let's talk all about the CBRs.
A couple of days ago, they posted an article, and it is even linked to in this very article for this news story that we're going to talk about. The article that they posted was, fan petitions are ruining, well, just about everything. I didn't need to click on it. I didn't need to read it. But my response was, how about this? Stop covering stupid fucking fan petitions.
And everything will be all right.
And everything will be cool. 2 days later, headline on CBR, Marvel fans launch petition to renew Inhumans.
Who wants Inhumans back?
Oh, God. If you actually go to the petition...
And where is this petition at? Just change.org?
Change.org. If you actually go to the petition, the person who started it has obviously gotten a lot of flack. And if you go to like the bottom of the description, it's like, edit number 3. Wow. Just see the reception this petition is getting on social media. Such hate. I just request them to see past the mistakes already committed and look to comic books in the hopes of inspiration for a second season. Please, all the people who hate the show or hate me for petitioning for the show are requested politely to stay away from my account on Twitter to avoid unnecessary fights and harassment. We get it. You don't like it, so just ignore us.
Which, that's cool. That'd be nice if they did that, but that's not how the internet works.
People seem to have missed the point of the petition, the author continues. The point is to not completely defend the failed series, but to let the producers know that we fans deserve a proper Inhuman show, and the characters shouldn't be wasted for life with a cancellation.
I mean, that's valid to a degree.
And all that is only possible through renewal. Simple as that. Because once gone, they're gone. Better to give them a second chance now when it is hurting. That is incorrect.
Yeah, no, that's not how that works.
Sure, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and by an extension the TV shows, is a very cohesive universe, but that doesn't mean that they can't fucking change things on a whim or reintroduce characters when they see fit.
Yeah, whenever the fuck they feel like it, basically.
Exactly. The Hulk has had 2 different looks in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. 2 different Bruce Banners.
Yeah.
2 different War Machines.
My favorite line out of here, though, is that this petition acknowledges the series' faults and asks that a potential second season receive both a larger budget and a showrunner who better understands the property's mythology. Because nothing says, let's address this failure by
throwing more money
into it.
They're CBR's article about fan petitions ruining everything, it made a point, but they're part of the problem. But like, there has been petitions lately to make they're mostly involved with Star Wars, The Last Jedi. But there's the one petition to make it to remove all the women from Star Wars, The Last Jedi. There's another one that's a petition for Ryan Johnson to admit that The Last Jedi was bad. Like, no.
That was asking shit over her.
And then there's this. But, like, which one's the worst one? Which one is the worst petition of those three?
And I saw one that was like, they petitioned to make the Joker gay. Because, all right.
Sure.
Why? Why?
I don't know.
Why the Joker?
Read it.
Like, I can believe...
I'm not clicking on bullshit.
I can believe that the Joker is sort of omnisexual.
Sure.
But why... If you're looking for representation, why would you choose the Joker? Why not a heroic character?
Right.
Sure, eventually
like
we'll
also
get to the day where we can have crazy, insane, murderous gay characters as well, but, you know, baby steps.
Yeah, they're probably the same people that were like talking about how, you know, we should stop referring to the Joker as psychotic because it makes psychos feel sad. You laugh. That happened.
That's ableist, Lee.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
You
that's
shouldn't
totally
call the Joker crazy.
What a piece of shit I am.
There was a certain wording or phrasing that people were like, whoa, 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 whoa. I actually have that. Let's not.
It was Psycho. Yeah, it was, they
it
like
was-
you
okay.
you can't call Joker Psycho anymore. Like, all right,
Okay.
fucking crybabies.
Oh, and then there was I saw a tweet early last week. You know, it was after Trump had his whole physical, and then people were like, you know, this guy says he's 6'3", 239 pounds.
I saw some of that too. I'm like, okay.
Here he is standing next to Derek Jeter, who is apparently the same height and same weight. And then James Gunn got into it, like, I will give Donald Trump $100,000 to his favorite charity if he'll get on an actual scale, like on live TV or something like that. And then I saw
have a favorite charity.
I saw someone tweet, you know, yeah, Trump is awful and all that, but can we not, like, body shame him? Because when you're making fun of Donald Trump's weight, you're also making fun of your fat friend at the same time. And
No,
my
I think that's
response,
true.
No, Trump's a tubby bitch.
yeah, my response to that was, you know what? As a lifelong fat person, go for it. Make fun of his weight all you want.
No, fuck that guy. No,
You know?
no, that's all. Oh God, you know, my favorite Trump thing of the weekend though was they put out that fucking photograph of Trump hard at work during the shutdown. It's just him with like an empty table and the oldest fucking phone in the world.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
That thing's
God, that's
amazing.
funny. And then Knize, at a moment of just comic goddamn genius, put it side by side with Sting from the WCW hotline. Oh, so goddamn funny. So good.
It was immediately when I saw that photo and I saw him on the phone, I was thinking, oh God, who's on the other line? Who's on the other line? I know! Sting is super excited to hear from the president.
I mean, why wouldn't he be?
You're right.
It just makes good sense. Oh God, that's fucking funny. So yeah, let's have a comic book. Get the fuck out of here. shall we?
Year this motherfucker's been president. A year.
A year. It
Bleh.
sometimes seems like forever.
It does.
The problem with comic books is the ink comes off on your hands. Every time you turn the page, you have to wash your hands.
So Kelly had his most upsetting video game experience this past week, and I think I had the most upsetting comic experience because sweet baby fucking Jesus, I finished the Junji Ito Shiver collection, which we talked about for a couple of weeks now, and boy is that last story upsetting. It is about a girl who lives above her father's yakiniku restaurant, and it's all about like how like their apartment's all gross and like everything's always like greasy and kind of shitty and like nothing ever feels clean, and like that sucks, right? Like, you know, we can all kind of that's no good. That's not great. But her brother also has this crazy like addiction to drinking salad oil out of a bottle, and so this inevitably leads to him kind of developing like really gross, shitty acne, and he ends up having fighting with his dad because like, what the fuck? You turn me into this fucking freak show, all this shit. And his sister, the kind of protagonist of the story, says something about, oh man, this is fucking gross. And ultimately he's like, oh, you want to fucking talk about gross? And his whole face, like front to back, is just covered in these huge giant pimples. And he pins this girl down and just squeezes his entire face.
Oh no.
And unloads every single pimple, like long, stringy pimple onto her face. It just pours itself onto her cheeks.
Nope.
It is drawn in what I can only describe as immaculate detail. Like, it is
Graphic.
an amazing bit of artwork. I showed it to numerous people just because I'd be like, you have to share my pain on this. And the reaction was always like guttural. Like it's such a fucking gross idea. It's a gross fucking picture. Like the whole thing is just terrible. And then, you know, the dad fucking smacks at the son, throws the son, kicks the son's ass and kills him and like, chops him up and stirs him in the restaurant. And that is way less upsetting than the image before it. Like, it's, oh boy. I'll read that story all day long about the dad eating the kid. Fine, fuck it, that's fine. That kid deserved it. But Jesus, that was gross.
It was so gross.
So fucking nasty. Didn't care for it. But I did promptly, once I finished that book, I bought the Tomy collection.
Nice.
Immediately. That book is fucking huge.
Yeah, it is.
Big ass book.
And the cool thing about that is you can see his art evolve as it goes on. Because it starts out very early in his career, and then kind of where it leaves off is like now.
That's pretty cool. I dig it. I'm mad at that. What else we got real quick? How about Batman 39? That was fucking great.
Yeah, that was cool.
I got Joelle Jones drawing it, and she did that awesome. What the fuck is it called? It was about like an undead Viking dude, like a zombie Viking guy. That was
Helheim.
That was it. Yeah, Helheim, and Lady Killer was hers too.
Yeah, and she did the arc of Batman where Batman and Catwoman went to fucking some Middle East place and fought Talia.
Yeah, it's good. It's good too. I'm mad at that either. It's good stuff. Yeah, but this is one woman shows up and is like, hey, we gotta fucking cash in our check. Remember our buddy who's been like, fighting monsters for thousands of years, he needs a break. And so they go and they fight a whole like this onslaught of magical monsters and shit like that. And like for the rest of the world, they're gone for like, a few hours, but they've been fighting these things for like 10 years. And so the whole thing is like, oh shit, they've been gone for 10 years. Like, are they gonna fucking knock boots? What's this gonna mean for, the budding Batman Catwoman relationship? And I'm like, oh no, I hope nothing bad happens because I want this shit to work out for these crazy kids. I'm invested now, Kelly.
I know. Has this dude popped up anywhere else?
I don't recognize it at all.
Okay.
But now, granted, like I'm not like Mr. Super DC deep cuts, so maybe. But it doesn't seem familiar to me. But yeah, it's goddamn good stuff. Good stuff. What else? The Batman Ninja Turtles Part 2 crossover is pretty fun. I'm digging that. The artwork is super like detailed and gritty looking. Like it's very cool. That's like Freddie Williams, the third, I think, draws that. It's pretty good. Solid stuff. It's pretty good. I read Ice Cream Man #1 from Image. It's apparently going to be like a horror anthology series. It's pretty good. It's okay. Story about like a killer, like a spider. I don't love the art. It's not bad, but like I can't decide if like I thought that the Ice Cream Man was going to be like a Crypt Keeper type character, just kind of tying the stories together, but he may also be like a Chupacabra Wolfman. Can't decide. But I'll come back for number 2, see what happens there. Oh man, Killer Be Killed is back.
Yeah, it is.
And that's also pretty upsetting for very different reasons.
Yeah, for very different reasons. There's no pus being sprayed.
No pus being sprayed, but like, I just love and have from the beginning love the design of the demon.
Yes,
like it has no real form. It's just an absence of light with like a face kind of scratched into it almost. Like it looks fucking cool.
I love how it just randomly looks like a Bill Sienkiewicz drawing in this Sean Phillips comic.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. Yeah, 100% that's what it looks like. And you know, at this point, pretty sure it's real. Like, it sure seems like it's real now, which is kind of scary. And you know, our boy's in a mental hospital. So what the hell is going to happen? He's got to kill somebody in the mental hospital if he wants to stay alive. But back matter, they write about there being a movie adaptation in the work, which that'd be a good movie. I'd watch that movie. It'd be great. Doctor Strange 384. We met the Void. I mean, Void's back, which that's bad news for everybody involved. But I really liked the bit where Strange replaced all the temple full of the disciples taking on his pain with just the Sentry because he can do it. Like, I thought that was really fucking cool. Did you read that, Kelly? The Doctor Strange book?
Yes.
Yes. I thought that was a really good bit.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But, like, kind of sucks because they put the fucking Void on the cover of the comic.
Yeah, it kind of ruined the reveal.
Yeah, like, and he's like in the last page reveal, it's supposed to be the Void coming out. But, like, don't put him on the cover of the book, dingus. Like, with so many covers being completely unrelated to the stuff inside, that's kind of a bad move. Like, I didn't care for that very much. And the last thing I'll talk about is Optimus Prime number 15. Lots of characters coming and kind of converging from the Windblade book and the All-in-One book, and it's just it's still that kind of political side where, you know, Lost Light is the out in space adventure side, but fucking Onyx Prime comes back to Cybertron and shit goes south. And Onyx Prime looks fucking neat. Onyx Prime's gimmick is he was the first Transformer with a beast mode. So like all the, you know, kind of Beast Wars characters that are now in these books are all descended from like the triad that he kind of founded out in space or whatever. I think they're called the Eukaryotes. So his robot mode, as much as he may or may not have like a full-on beast mode, it's hard to tell you. We haven't seen it if he does. But to be fair, Megatron was running around in the Lost Light for like 2.5 years, and not once did he transform into the tank we assume he can transform into. So hard to say what's going to happen there. But he has like his robot mode is like a centaur, so he's got like horse legs and shit like that, and so he can either kind of be done on all fours with the centaur body, or stand upright on those hind legs, like little horsey legs in the front, making him really tall and scary looking. And he has big ass wings and shit. Like, so it's an awesome design, and I think I have an idea of how I can make one. I think I can make one. So but like, I don't want to spend like $100 on parts. So that part might be kind of tricky. I need a lot of shit to pull this off. I need some horse legs. I need a creepy head. I need some wings. Like, you need some prime Predakings, maybe. I don't know, but I fucking love that book, and I'm very excited to see what's coming next. Because like, we're gonna get some Unicron action at some point in the near future. It has to happen. And you know, these books have been going on for 10 years plus, and they have fought the urge to bring Unicron in like for that long, which is kind of awesome. I kind of love that. But yeah, it's really good. What you got, Kelly?
Wait, he hasn't popped up?
No, not even once.
Like, oh wow, that's cool.
They have mentioned him before, like not even by name. Like they'll mention Primus, but like they'll mention you know, his other, or like his counter side or something like that. But they never have they specifically said Unicron or showed him. But I think they showed him at the end of that First Strike book.
Yeah,
If I'm not
and then
mistaken.
I think they kind of referenced him a bit in the Visionaries book, didn't they? Or am I imagining that?
I think you're right. Yeah, and that's the only time we've ever actually seen an explicit name drop, which is pretty rad. Again, 10 years and like they don't do the Unicron thing. That's kind of awesome. Like that's an amazing amount of restraint on everyone's part that's involved. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, what else you got, Kelly?
Not much. I think the only thing that is really worth talking about is I read a volume 1 of a new manga called Made in Abyss, and it takes place in a world where I guess it's kind of like Earth, but not really. There's a giant pit in this city, and it just goes and goes and goes. It's meters and probably miles deep, and there's stuff down there. Like there was some kind of ancient society down there, and it's full of like artifacts that the people living in this town go down and excavate and then sell for money, and that's like the main export of the town. Okay. And it's all about these this girl who just wants to explore the pit, the abyss, because that's what her mom does. And her mom has been down there for years. And so on one of the digs, there's one of the various monsters that live in this pit ventured up higher than it normally does, and it attacks this girl. And she's saved by like this kind of laser blast almost. And she discovers there's this little boy who just turns out to be a robot with like crazy extendo arms, like he's Inspector Gadget.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. And then he has no memory of anything. So he's just like, hey, why am I here? And they're all like, hey, why are you here? So and
yeah,
she
different questions.
Yeah. So she lives in an orphanage that's kind of gets these kids and then teaches them how to go in the abyss and dig up stuff. And so she kind of just gets this kid into the orphanage too, without even letting on that he's a robot. And then the book is just about her and this kid and this robot kid going on adventures in the abyss, so she can go find her mom, and so he can figure out what he is.
That's cool.
And like the art is it's really cool. It's like it's very cutesy. It's a very cute book, but the art is awesome to where it kind of looks. It's got like watercolor gray tones to it almost, and it looks just kind of like pencils. It reminds me very much of if you've ever seen what Adam Warren's Empowered looks like.
Okay.
It reminds me a lot of that.
Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Like, for real. Wow, yeah.
But yeah, it's a cool story. And one thing I like about The Abyss is there's the point where when you go down far enough, you can't come back. Because there's something called ascending sickness, and at different levels of the abyss, it affects you in different ways. Like if you're coming up from the first level, you're just going to get kind of dizzy and might throw up. But if you go down to the 4th level, when you come back up, you're probably going to bleed from every hole in your body.
Oh, Jesus.
And then there's like, you get to the 6th and 7th level, and you're just not coming back. Like you're going to die on your way back, no matter what happens.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's like, at the end of the day, these kids know they're probably never coming back.
Huh. All right.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a little bit of a slow start in the first volume, but it's got so much promise. I'm definitely coming back for volume 2.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really interesting story. I liked it a lot.
That sounds cool. Right on. Cool. I'm mad at that. I dig it. All right, let's what you guys think worth talking about? Knize? Anything cool?
Just that Raw 25 was a shit show.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah, I saw some of that. People not super hype about it, which is kind of a bummer. Like that's like,
But it's par.
That should be a no-brainer, right? That should be easy.
It's par for the course with WWE, man. Like, you get yourself all worked up for something like this, and then they end up having a tag match between Titus O'Neil and fucking Apollo Crews versus Heath Slater and Rhino on the 25th anniversary of Raw. Okay, there were a few things that were good. Obviously, Stone Cold coming out and stunning the fuck out of everybody was great. Stone Cold still his stunners are a little slower these days.
Well,
he looks great.
He looks great, but the kick and the stun were slow, but just so great, and the crowd was so into it. Like, they announced all these legends to come back, but a lot of it was just like, you know how when they do the Hall of Fame at WrestleMania, they'll bring everybody out on stage and like announce them, and they'll just do like a roll call.
Right.
They were doing that. Like, they did a roll call of general managers. They brought out fucking John Laurinaitis and William Regal and Eric Bischoff, and I was like, this is weird. Like, include them in the show, like,
right?
Like, and they did like a bunch of backstage segments, like Mark Henry and The Godfather. Like, bring these motherfuckers out to the ring. Like, let them get an entrance, let them get a pop, let them do something in the ring, let them cut a promo, instead of, you know, a 2-minute backstage segment. But they did this.
Yeah, that sucks.
They did this roll call thing with a bunch of the divas, the old divas. And first off, they brought out Pregnant Maurice, which I am all for. I am all about it. I'm here for that. Maria Kanellis is also pregnant. Brie Bella is still rocking some of her baby weight, and she's never looked better. But by far, the best-looking one out there, Tori Wilson. Tori Wilson.
Yeah, I saw somebody posted a GIF, and she looks like she hasn't aged a fucking day.
Not one bit.
She's gotten better. She's her fucking thighs. I had to follow her on Instagram today. Because how good she looked last night. But bar none, the best part about watching Raw 25 is they did it from two venues. They did it from the Barclays Center, and they did it from the Manhattan Center, where they originally, you know, recorded Raw back in the day. And, you know, the Manhattan Center is this tiny little venue. So those tickets were like $800, $400 a pop, and it was all the fucking...
Whoa!
All the biggest marks in the world were at the Manhattan Center. Green Smiley Dickhead, he was there. Fucking Brock Lesnar guy, he was there. All the dickheads that love to be on TV were there. But they sat there and watched the shit that was happening at the Barclays Center for like 90 minutes. They paid...
That is tough, man.
$800 to sit front row, and they got to see, I think, 3 matches.
Oh my god.
2 of them weren't even televised.
2 of them weren't even televised, and they just started to unravel. They started to lose their minds because, you know, a majority of the show was happening at the Barclays Center, and they had a big screen, and they were basically sitting there. They paid $800 to sit and watch Raw. And they weren't even getting to be on TV.
Oh.
So that Schadenfreude, however you pronounce it, Schadenfreude, was
something like that.
Some of the best parts of Raw 25. Just seeing them bitch and complain on Twitter.
So good.
Oh, God, that sounds terrible. See, at some point, you're entitled to that. I really feel like you should be able to bitch.
I think the starting ticket for that event for the Manhattan Center portion of the show was like $268.
Yeah, because that place couldn't hold more than 500 people, probably.
Yeah, it's not a huge venue.
Jesus. That is... Boy, that's tough.
And then the Royal Rumble's this Sunday, and as I do every year, I get excited for the Royal Rumble, and every year they fuck me.
Yep. It's gonna happen again.
But this year they have 2 chances to fuck me because they got the men's Rumble and the women's Rumble.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah.
I don't think. Ugh, that's a lot of Rumble. That is a lot of Rumble.
Yeah, but like, I'm here for the Rumble.
That's true. True.
I'm here for the first ever women's Rumble. Yeah, come on, give it to me. And they've only got 20 active women on the roster, so they've got to fill 10 spots with, surprise comebacks or debuts. And
Ronda Rousey.
Probably Ronda Rousey.
She's probably gonna win. And then at some point, Stephanie's gonna win the women's title, and then they're gonna have a match at WrestleMania.
I will be sorely disappointed if Asuka doesn't win the Royal Rumble. So
yeah,
I will likely be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not expecting her to win.
WWE has fucked with us so much over the past, 30. Actually, they didn't used to fuck with us back in the day.
No, it wasn't this bad.
It's more the past 10 years that they fucked with us. That we're just all gun-shy to it now. Like, I was excited to watch Raw 25, but I knew in the back of my mind it was probably going to be terrible.
I can't imagine watching Raw live on a weekly basis. Like, it's such a slog. It was an easier time watching that 2-hour no commercials YouTube video.
I haven't been watching it regularly live, but I made a point to sit down and watch it live for Raw 25.
Bold choice, man. The bold choice. Can't imagine.
Stone Cold was great, and he was right at the top. So, like, after the Stone Cold segment, I could have turned it off, and I could have seen the gif of Tori Wilson later.
Yeah. Yeah, there was really nothing worthwhile after the Hogan... not Hogan, wow. The Austin thing.
About to say, fucking they brought Hogan out. Jesus.
No, I'm getting tired. I'm confusing my bald men.
Easy to do, man. Easy to do. It's okay. Say space. Okay, all right. Well, then that case, let's call it a night.
Yeah.
Let's come back and do it again next week. And there won't be any Raw 25, and maybe neither Kelly nor myself will experience some Japanese shit that makes us want to cry a little bit. It's all about dreams, you guys. It's all about dreams. Yeah. So join us next week. We should have Jose back. We are like a scant 3 weeks away from Toy Fair, which is pretty damn exciting.
Yep.
Excited about that. So we'll have some shows between now and then. We're gonna maybe doing something special for the show before that weekend, maybe. Talk about that in a minute when we get off air, because oh boy. Yeah. So we'll be back next week with Jose and Toe, and everybody be here having a good time. Join us at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central at youtube.com/PanelsOnPages. And email us. Call us a voicemail. All that fun stuff. And we'll be back. Talk to you guys next week. For Jason Knize and Kelly Harris, I'm the Lord Reverend Lee Rodriguez. We'll talk to you guys next week. Good night. We love you. Bye-bye.
wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo! Boo!